Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining today's session. Let's learn about closing the digital gap for seniors, insight from digital seniors and our community work. Today is Wednesday, February the 11th, 2026. Our guest speaker today is Sarah Naz. Before we begin, we're going to do some housekeeping tips. Please mute your mic to block out any outside noise. Closed captioning button is located at the bottom of your screen. Please place your questions or comments in the chat. However, we will have a Q&A session at the end. This session will be recorded and posted on Seniors NL website and our YouTube channel. Barb, can you please go ahead and read out the land acknowledgement?
Good morning. We respectfully acknowledge that the lands on which we live, work, and meet are situated on the traditional territories of the indigenous groups of Newfoundland and Labrador, and we acknowledge with respect the diverse histories of the cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this province. We honor the diverse indigenous peoples who have cared for this land for past generations and for the 7 generations to come. We are committed to listening, learning, and working in collaboration with indigenous communities as we move towards reconciliation, respect, and mutual understanding. Let us carry this acknowledgement forward in our work and relationships as we strive to create a future that respects and embraces the wisdom of older adults and the diversity of all communities.
Thank you, Barb.
You're welcome.
Sherry, can you please go ahead and introduce Sarah?
Sure. Sarah Nass is the founder and CEO of Seniors NL, of Digital Seniors NL, a nonprofit rooted in the belief that no senior should feel isolated, unsafe, or left behind because of technology. Through community workshops and digital support, her work helps older adults build confidence, protect themselves online, and stay connected to family, services, and community. Sarah focuses on meeting seniors where they are, creating spaces that value patience, trust, and human connection in a digital-first world. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Sarah, I'm actually going to go ahead now and stop sharing so you can go ahead and share your slides, please.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to be here today. Just give me 1 second till I share my screen here. What a perfect world. It just worked at once. I love that. Okay. So yeah, today we are going to talk about what Digital Seniors NL is and how we started and how our work has impacted our community. So just want to share a little bit of our agenda on how it's going to look. Just 1 second. Can you see the changes in the slides? Thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. So today we'll talk about a little bit about what Digital Seniors NL is. What do we see in our work? What are the insights from our workshops? What are our seniors in our community struggling with? A little bit about scam prevention, some essential digital skills, what our volunteer model looks like, and how are we trying to reach out to do community partnership, and what are our suggestions regarding recommendations for organizations. And if you have any question to ask, we can go through that later. So again, in the beginning, thank you so much for introducing me. I do want to share a little story of how Digital Seniors NL came to exist. So my background is I have a decade of banking experience. I worked from the teller side to like financial advisor, worked to the commercial side and the business side, but wherever I have been to, there was one constant issue that I've seen wherever I've been. And that was the older adults that I was serving as my clients, they were all having the same issue of being unable to use technology at ease. In the beginning, they would come in asking for online banking help, because I was working at the bank and that was relevant. Once I built a rapport with the community, people would come in to me asking for help with Facebook, Messenger, YouTube, and all the other applications that we use every day. But unfortunately, I was working at the bank and we were not allowed to help with anything other than the banking application. And it broke my heart because I love helping people and I wanted to reach out and do as much as possible. But I was restrained from the banking policies. Once I shared this topic with other people who are working in different industry, we saw it was a similar pattern everywhere. We spoke with people who are working in the healthcare system. We were talking with the people who are working at the government offices, who are working on the applications for older adults, like TeleDoc, My Government Service, etc., etc. And this issue was everywhere throughout in different industries. So we all came together. It's in the beginning, Digital Seniors NL was a grassroots initiative where all the volunteers came together and did workshops at the libraries. And we all came to realize that this was a similar effect in throughout industries and something needed to be done. So all of the volunteers, it was a volunteer-led initiative. We all came together and started doing workshops, partnered with the public library, and now with Seniors NL, trying to work together as a community and bridge this gap. So what do we do? What do we do here? We do volunteer-led digital literacy. We support our community through hands-on learning monthly workshop. So right now we have our monthly workshop at AC Public Hunter Library, and we do monthly workshop there. We focus on real life skills, safety, and most importantly, building confidence. So that's a little bit of who we are. And again, going back to the topic of why we exist, because in the early days, before we started doing this work, we did a needs assessment. What is a needs assessment? This is where we talk to our older adults of the province and ask them, what are the barriers you have? How can our work make your life easier? We spoke with about 200 to 300 seniors in our province, and we figured that some of their major barriers were using essential services. That was one thing. There was a high scam exposure focused on vulnerable people, such as older adults in our province. Right now, especially since COVID, we have increased digital dependency. Since COVID has happened, everything has an app for it. So there's an increased digital dependency. And we have limited access to trusted in-person help. One of the things that I talk about a lot is even though we are heavily dependent digitally, there's no manual book to use applications. For example, when we open Facebook accounts, Facebook doesn't give you a manual book on where to find which buttons or which buttons does what for us. All these new applications that are coming, for example, we have an application for everything. You want to order a food, there's an application for that. You want to get your driver's license, there's an application for that. You want to watch movies, there's an application for that. There's an application for everything. But does it come with a manual book? We are just assumed to learn it by ourselves. And that is hard when everything is dependent on digital world. And that is exactly why we exist. Our programs and services focus on, as I said, we do digital literacy workshops. This is one of the workshops. If you can see the picture here, these are one of our workshops. All these pictures are related to our workshops. And at that time, we were talking about scam prevention. If you can see the red circles, we're talking about this is the scam that you need to look into. We do scam prevention sessions. We also do device basics. People brings their phones and laptops and tablets, whatever they feel comfortable using it, because some people are comfortable using their laptop. Some people are comfortable using their phones. Some people are comfortable using their PC. So that's why when we do our workshop, it's very customized to people. It's not one fits all. We also talk about social media safety, virtual helpline. We are coming up with our toll-free number. We are going to get more information on that upcoming Monday, and we will be working on that. And we also do community-specific sessions. We have in the previous in our previous workshops, we worked with multiple retirement home to do specific digital cafes or workshops with them. Yeah, so while we are working on those, there's more exciting things coming, especially with this partnership with Seniors NL. There's more amazing things that we were working on. While we're working on these workshops, there are common challenges that we have seen that our community, the older adults in our community faces. They are device basics, understanding how computer works, turning them on, turning them off, how to charge batteries, or how to work on your emails and whatnot, Wi-Fi and settings. People are traveling all the time now. How could you use the public Wi-Fi? How should you use your private data? That has been one of the conversations that we have a lot. Email setup, passwords and accounts are the most important ones because again, you have all these applications you have to sign on and you have to put in your password. And there are some rules around having passwords. You cannot have one password set up everywhere because if you get hacked in one place, somebody will know all your passwords. So these are the conversations that we have a lot because this is what we see in our workshops. We also see telehealth online, people trying to understand how to use the government services. Banking is another thing. We recently had a banking workshop. People loved it because there's so many things we don't know as a consumer that a lot of people have questions on. Social communication tools, we do workshops on Facebook, Messenger, how to stay connected with the community and whatever comes within it. And most importantly, online safety. Online safety, we talk about it in all our workshop because whatever we do, we need to know how to be more safe in using that application so you don't give out your personal information. As I said, those were the challenges, but what are the barriers? What are the barriers for our community members in having this access to this workshop or access to the manual book for the application, for example? We have heard from people from Labrador, from far away from Labrador, and how can they have more accessibility digital wise? So we have seen rural internet access. A lot of people in our provinces do not have internet access. That is the base route. Uh, a lot of people have limited in-person tech help, fear of breaking devices. What do we mean by fear of breaking devices? We have seen so many people not having the confidence to go ahead and push buttons and test and see because of the fear that it's going to break the device or it's gonna it's irreversible mistake, and that is one of the barriers to the growth in the digital world. And again, low comfort with new technology. Same things again. When technology comes in, it does not come with a manual book. So people are scared of tapping a button because it might come down to an irreversible mistake. These are the barriers that we have seen for people to come and join our workshops or get into this digital world. And this is exactly why digital literacy matters. Because once we talk more about this, once we do more workshop and we have hands-on experiences, you get the confidence in pressing those buttons and see what it does for you. And that results in independence, not depending on anybody because you have experience, you had hands-on experience, you are more comfortable using the application or the device. You feel you have the financial safety as well because then you are aware of the scams that are going around because there's new scams coming every day. Every day these scammers are getting more smarter and they're finding another way. But we are also working harder to learn their patterns and to share those information with everyone in the community. And that's how people in our community who attends our workshop or who attends our participates in our workshop gets that financial safety. People also will feel socially connected as we talk about safely using Facebook, any kind of social media, Messenger, YouTube, whatever you use. Again, access to healthcare. We also talk about how to use the government portals or what that means for each person's, because every person's story is a little bit different. And all of these results into reduced isolation. Once you have the independence of using the digital world, you feel financially safe, you feel comfortable using your devices and the digital world, the isolation gets reduced because you can reach out to people around you or the services around you or the community around you and come together. After all these workshops, we have found some insights, some results that we have seen. How are these workshops helping the community? First, we have seen that over 80% of our participants have concerns about scams. They have questions about scams through email, scams through over the phone, scams through invoices being mailed in your homes. There's scams in multiple different ways, and people are interested to know and talk about it so they don't become a victim. Secondly, many participants, I would say at least 100% of our participants, they do not lack the ability to do the work digitally. Most people lack the confidence. Again, coming back to the conversation where people feel very scared on pressing a button because it might break the device, or maybe it's an irreversible mistake. But again, once we build the confidence, we have multiple participants coming in all of our workshops that have attended all of our workshops, and we see them growing and building the confidence. And now I remember there was this lady I was helping in our last workshop. She told me she bought a movie through YouTube because she wanted to watch that movie and she watched it with her husband. And that was a big, big success for her to buy the movie on her own and watch it because she wanted to. That ability, because she built that confidence, which she didn't have before. And she gave us that feedback. It was the best day of my life, one of the best days of my life. But again, this is what we see, not lack of ability, but lack of confidence, which is where we help. We are just standing there as a guidance, as a support, and that's what builds our confidence. And thirdly, password management is a top issue, as we spoke about before. There's so many applications. There's all this Facebook, all Messenger, all Gmail, Yahoo. We have all these applications, all these emails, and password management can be hard because there are some rules, again, having passwords that we talk about. But and that's exactly why in all of our workshops, whichever applications or whatever we are talking about, we always talk about password management because we have seen through our workshops when we have these conversations, it makes it easier for the participants to understand why the password management has all these policies or what you should do, what you not should not do, because once password is out, other people can have control over your applications or your personal information. So that is one of the major conversation we have. And most importantly, our participants prefer repeated hands-on guidance. That is one of the most needed and one of the most asked for time that we have in our workshop. And people love it. It has been working really good. We see our participants' confidence growing every day. And not how do we know that their confidence is growing every day? The next time they come and participate on our workshops, they will share what they have done since the last time we met them. And that growth is a win. Every growth is a win. Now, while I share how our workshops work and what we have seen, what was the winning stories, I also want to share the real stories, the real consequences of how these issues, if not being met with, what are the consequences if we stop working on this or if we don't work on this? I will share, there's many stories if you can see on the slides. I'm gonna share a couple of them. The near miss, for example, a near CRA scam incident that almost cost a senior their life savings. And that is a personal story to me. I was working as a bank teller that time, and a sweet lady came to me. She told me that her best friend I still know the best friend's name because it was not a best friend. She said that her best friend told her that if she gives $70,000 to the government will multiply that money and give her back. And she got that information from Facebook. And at first, she told me that that's her best friend. Her best friend's not gonna lie. And I asked her, how long did you know your best friend? And she said, 6 months. And I asked, where did you meet her? Through Facebook. She never met her in person. Once I asked more and more and more questions, we realized it was an engineered scam. What is an engineered scam? This scammer pretended to be her friend for months and months to prepare her for this scamming. And that's exactly why she came to the bank to ask to share this money with the government. Once I shared with her the story and told her it is a scam, government will never reach out to you over your messenger or Facebook and ask for money or deposit into an account. They're not going to say that. They're not going to do it. She realized, and that was about a 3-hour conversation. Now, my question is, how many bank tellers, because it is actually not bank tellers' responsibility to help you or retrieve you from scammers, right? If you tell the bank teller to withdraw money, they're going to withdraw the money for you. But if I did not ask that question, that is all she had in her savings account. What if I gave that money away? What would have happened after that? There would be more investigation. The bank would wait for 25 business days, do an investigation. How is she going to live till then? So these are the situations that happens in real life. And that is why we need to have this conversation again and again, talk about what the scams going on right now, educate everybody, including us, and stay aware. This was one of and again, the lady was very happy. She was crying at the end, and we hugged and we were like, don't worry about it. Like, it didn't happen, so we are all good. But then my question is, how many people went through it and the bank teller or the financial advisor or anybody from the bank did not ask these questions? Another, a more common situation we see is a lockout. Seniors being locked out of devices for weeks and not being able to get any help. Another thing is the access to barrier, difficulty accessing essential benefits online because of interface confusion. Again, talking about all these applications coming, even from the government, without having any manual to tell us how to use it. One of the last ones I want to share because it's very important. It happens all the time, even to me sometimes, the paralysis. It is a fear of using phone at all due to previous bad experiences with scams. So somebody, maybe they had an unfortunate scam experience in their life and they were unable or they were very scared of using phones anymore because what if the person presses a button and she gets scammed? This is the paralysis, and that is the result of not having conversations, not having anybody beside you to talk through it. And that is exactly why what Digital Seniors does is talk more, do workshops, have these conversations so people are away from this paralysis and be more confident in using devices, phones, be socially connected, and be aware of the scams. Okay. Now, these were amazing stories. Now we need to talk about what our participants tell us they need. We did our needs assessment earlier before we started Digital Seniors NL, and we asked, what are the things you need from us or from the community to help you bridge the digital gap? How do we do that? They told us that participants want clear and simple instructions. We cannot use technological jargons. We are here to make things easier, not harder. Participants need one-on-one support. Again, it's not one size fits all. And that is exactly why when we do our workshops, we have one-on-one experiential learning because that is very helpful because not everyone has the same digital troubles. They also told us that repetition without judgment. This is one of the most important part in Digital Seniors NL is we have no silly questions, no stupid questions. We are all learning together. It's an intergenerational learning. We are all learning together, and we will repetitively learn this till we feel confident. And that is without any judgment. And people can ask any questions, especially on our one-on-one that we do on our workshops. We are there to sit with participants and work through their issues till they feel confident on doing the digital thing on their own. The next thing, that printed step-by-step guides, which is very important. When we do our presentation or workshop, the first hour we focus on presentation. The last hour we focus on one-on-one experiential learning. When we do our one-on-one experiential learning, we always have a participant workbook that is relevant to the topic that we are going through that day. So those printed step by step helps people a lot. I remember there was one workshop we did at the retirement at Lane's Retirement Living. And we had our workshop. We saw people putting those workshop worksheet papers on their fridge with a magnet, and it had all the scam pros and like scam prevention conversation, how to see them, what to do once you're scammed, and the toll-free number you need to call or how you report once you're scammed. It was an amazing worksheet, and people love those guides. So those step-by-step guides are very much asked for in our community, and people keep them on their tables and on their fridge, which we love because it shows how important or how much needed it was. And trusted local help, that is exactly why we exist. Now I want to talk about a little bit about the most common scams in Newfoundland and Labrador. Again, this is Canada-wide, and this does not cover everything else, but these are the biggest ones that we have seen in our work. One is CRA government phishing. What does that mean? You'll get emails or messages or even phone calls, people pretending to be somebody from the government or somebody from CRA. I always tell people in this situation, always hang up the call if they're calling you and call CRA and tell them you received a call and you want to solve that. If somebody calls you pretending to be somebody from the government, do not give your information out. Hang up the phone and call the CRA number and verify with them that you have received a call if that was legit or not. We also see a lot of Amazon and package delivery scams. You will get messages on your phone saying your Amazon package is delivering. Please give us this number or your personal information. Big scams. We also see a lot of Microsoft support emails to activate your link. Please press this link. Once you press that scam me link, something happens. Maybe they will ask for your credit card number. Maybe they will hack your computer number, your computer. But if you see a Microsoft or Gmail email telling you that it's a tech support and you did not ask for one, delete, ignore, hang up the phone. One of the most important ones we see is romance fraud, where people are talking to you via Facebook or Messenger, and they're trying to be your loved ones, and they will ask for emergency money. Like, for example, they will say, "I'm in this trouble, please give me this money," blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, if you do not know the person, if you have never met that person, do not give money out, because once you give them the money out, higher chances they will have your credit card information or your payment information. So it can also affect your banking accounts, your savings account, or whichever account you're paying that scammer to. So that's one of the biggest things we've seen. Again, banking impersonation, people calling you pretending to be your bank advisor, or even sending you a text. So one day you're going to receive a text from Scotiabank, or you're going to receive a text from RBC saying that your card is locked or frozen. Please go to this link. And again, you press that link and something goes wrong. Again, once this happens to you, you see this email, you see this phone number, hang up the phone call, delete the message, and call your bank to verify. We also see a lot of fake prize or lottery notifications. Congratulations, you won a $3 million, $5 million jackpot. We see that all the time. In my early days when I started using Gmail, I used to get them a lot. The first one I got Oh my God, I was the happiest person ever. I thought I'd never have to do any work. Now I'm gonna travel everywhere. But unfortunately, that was a scam. So even myself, I fell in that scam. I remember it was many, many years ago when I first opened my Gmail. So all these fake prizes, lottery, scam, jackpot, whatever it is, they're all scams. Um, do not press any link. Do not call any number. Just delete the email and do not look back. Now, these are the most common scams that we see every day. Are these the only ones? No. There are more things happening. There's many more scams that I have not covered here, but they're very important conversation. And we do our scam prevention workshops where we cover everything as much as possible and talk about how you can prevent it and what are the steps that you need to do once you are a victim. We talk about everything in our workshop to cover this scam prevention conversation. And this is the most asked. We do at least 3 times or 4 times in a year to talk about scam prevention because it is so much needed and we need to have this conversation. Again, some of the common scam red flags we see is urgency. If somebody is urgently telling you to do something, that's most likely a red flag. Threatening language, your account would be closed, your computer is going to break down. Threatening languages are usually a red flag, it's a scam. Requesting for money or gift cards, scam. Unfamiliar callers or emails. If there's a caller calling you for anything that you're not familiar with, probably a scam. Recently, I've been getting a lot of calls from unknown numbers from Quebec, from Montreal, from Alberta, and sometimes even from outside of the country. Sometimes it's from states. I don't know them. I don't receive the call and if it's so important, they will leave a voicemail or they will leave an email, which I can check back later. Even if it's scam, I can read it and figure out on my own. But do not even bother receiving those phone calls. Poor spelling or grammar mistake over the email. That's one of the biggest giveaway. If you see poor spelling or grammar on an email, that's most likely a scam. Unexpected links or attachments. Do not press any links, do not download any attachments because you don't know what you are bringing in your phone or in your computer or in your device. If you're unfamiliar with that link or attachment, just delete it. So these are some of the common red flags that we see in identifying what those scams are or if it is a scam or not. Now I wanted to talk about how are we empowering these conversations to our participants. As we said, this is a volunteer-led organization. We help, like community members are helping community members. We do loads of hands-on learning. We don't just lecture, we practice. So if we have a conversation on how to use Facebook and Messenger safely, for example, on that workshop, we are going to do hands-on learning on those topics. Again, we do monthly workshops. We partnered with our ACH Public Hunter Library to have a space to do that. And again, we focus on real life skills, safety, and building genuine confidence. That is the goal. Trying to build confidence because everyone that we have seen who come in our workshop has the ability to do it, but we just need some guidance, some support, some confidence into feeling comfortable using the devices. This is one of the pictures that we shared. It was one of our community-based delivery. This one we did banking without branch. We talked about what you can do in the bank, what you can do over the ATM, what you can do over the phone, and what are the things that you can't do over the phone, etc., etc. And if you can see, it's a very engaging workshop. People are raising their hands. People ask a lot of questions. Some of the participants share their personal information as well. So it's not just talk, talk, talk. We all work in this workshop together, which is fantastic because then recently when we did our workshop this last Saturday, it was on money and online safety, where we are talking about a little bit about financial scams and how it's affecting and how you can prevent it. And I remember there were at least almost all the participants that engaged in that workshop, everybody shared their stories and we all learned from it. One participant shared that they receive an invoice sending in their mailbox, in their house, in their address. And he doesn't want to pay that invoice because he never got that service. He's not the one who ordered that service. So why is he going to pay? And of course, in that situation, what do? You garbage. You toss that invoice out. You do not look into it. You do not pay. You do not do anything. And somebody else as, hey, I also had this issue and I didn't know what to do. And that person also learned from that story. So we love an engaging workshop where people share their story. We brainstorm on what are the other options that we go through. What have other people found an easier way to go through that process, or they might have similar experiences, how to avoid that or how to prevent that. We all share, we all brainstorm. It's a very engaging workshop. We get a lot of feedback. Like every time we do workshops, we get our feedback from participants. It's always amazing, amazing, amazing. Like I learned something new today, which is what the goal of our workshops are. So while we talk about a little bit about our workshops, I do want to mention how important is to not get away from the goal. The goal is the human connection, because now you could always Google, right? If you want to know how to prevent this. I got this call and it's a scam. How can I understand if it's a scam or not? You can always Google any question. Google will give you an answer. You need to go through articles after articles to see which one is relevant to yours and then figure a way out. But here we prioritize the power of human connection, because technology can be isolating, but learning shouldn't be. And when we all come together, we are participating in this workshop every month. Every time we are there, you're coming in, you're learning something new, we are learning something new, and we also update our workshop as we get feedback. When we see something new is happening, we add it to our workshops and talk more about it, because that is the goal. Let's have a conversation around it. And this model of our workshops, doing our workshops like this, brings people's helps people understand that it's patience and trust that we need to have among all of us together to bridge the gap between this increased digital dependency. And that is where we come in as a trusted in-person help, to bridge this gap, to make people feel more confident, to build that trust and patience. Because when we did our needs assessment, when we asked our participants or our older adults in the province, asking, what is one of the biggest barriers for you to ask for help? A lot of people did say that they feel uncomfortable reaching to their family. Some people don't live with their families, they live by themselves. How can they have this immediate assistance in understanding, let's say they're going through a scam, or maybe they got a new phone, to navigate that experience? So, and that is exactly what we do. So we give a lot of importance to the power of human connection. And we always say that technology can be hard, can be confusing at times to understand, but learning should be. And our model relies on patience and trust. Now, amazing workshop, amazing feedback. We see great impact in our community from our workshops. We hear lots of feedback, even far away from Newfoundland as well. How can we expand this safety net? We need to talk more about how more people can have access to these services. So first of all, Seniors NL and Digital Seniors NL are working together to get this toll-free number out. Now, we are still working on the numbers and the logistics around it. More information is going to come upcoming Monday. But just to give you an idea, this virtual helpline is to provide support when in person is not possible. So many people far away from Labrador, they also want to join these workshops. We are working to work with the volunteers in those locations to bring this information farther away, and we are getting there. Yesterday, we shared our scam prevention presentation in the workshop with the RCMP in Labrador. They're doing some similar workshops like we do over there, and we are working together. We are sharing our resources and helping this information out there. But sometimes, again, as I said, when we did our needs assessment, there's a lot of people who do not have family to rely on, or maybe they're living by themselves and they are experiencing this. How are they going to get the help that they need? They could just call the toll-free number and ask for guidance and support, and we will be there to assist with their needs. While I say that, I also want to make sure that people understand that this toll-free number is not a tech help desk. Nobody will be able to get in your computer to help remotely. They won't be able to do that. We are just here as a guidance, as a support to guide you through the experience that you are having at that time. And I think that's gonna be amazing, an amazing change. When we started talking about this to our participants, they were relieved. They were relieved to know that there was somebody that they can rely on, a third party who is not a family member, because sometimes people are scared that they're going to be judged. But if it's a third party person that have not seen you and you are talking over the phone, that calms down a little bit. So that is how the virtual helpline is going to be a big help, uh, and we are working towards it. And we are also working on community specific sessions. Again, as we said, like tailoring content to the unique needs of different towns in NL. For example, as we said, we are working with the people, the RCMP events that they're having for the older adults over there. We are sharing resources. We are talking more about like how can we help? Can we as digital seniors now, can we be on a Zoom call while they're giving the resources out? Like how can we help the people who need assistance over far away? Again, we just started. It's been almost 7 to 8 months that digital seniors NL is existing, and we see the need, and we are expanding very fast, but it's gonna take a while to gather resources and share, but we believe that we are gonna get there. The momentum has already started. And we also talk about expanded topics. We talk about deepening the curriculum on social media safety and online banking. These are just one of the things. How do we talk about expanding topics? Again, we are also working with the provincial government. They are also working with us in understanding what are the needs that older people has in our province, and how can the government of NL work with us in order to create all these curriculum or workshop or the topics that we need to go through to share with our participants. A lot of organizations are working with us to get that out. We are also trying to reach out to farther away of the province to understand what are the needs in that community so we can meet them. One thing, when we did our assessment, we did see what the problems that we have here in St. John's is not the same problem that, for example, Happy Valley Goose Bay will have. So again, this is not a one size fits all experience. So we continuously work on our workshop. We continuously update our workshop, add new elements in it when we understand that this is something the community needs. So we're talking a lot. We're working with a lot of organizations, trying to reach this or expand this safety net towards as far as Newfoundland and Labrador could go. Now we're almost coming to an end of this presentation. We talked about a lot of important things today, but I do have an ask. I do have recommendations to share with organizations on how service providers, and that could be other companies, that could be foundations, that could be other nonprofits, that could be an individual working for a company, or if they're in a digital world, how service providers can support the digital inclusion of seniors. So we need to first recognize the continued need for trusted in-person help options. We need to talk about it. When we create new applications, let's create a new manual. Let's create a how to do videos when you create a new application that people are going to use. There's no point in creating a new application if some of the people who are going to use that application don't even know how to use it. So let's start talking about this. Let's start making these how to do's. Even just a YouTube video helps a lot. Let's simplify digital interfaces for government and banking portals, for example, because these are the things that we cannot live without. We need this on a day-to-day basis. So talking about how to use them is very important. If you are stuck somewhere, who you should call to get some assistance, for example, My Government NL or CRA, and not only government and banking portals, even other organizations that are working for the government, for example. If we are using something on a day-to-day basis and it's mandatory, there's no other ways, that should come with a manual. And again, the last one, but the most important one, especially for digital seniors and L, is to partner with community organizations to verify safety and legitimacy. What do I mean by that is let's partner, let's work together into getting this information out as much as possible, because there's so many places, even in Labrador, because we spoke with the people over there, that they don't even have access to phones or laptops or internet, but they are still dealing with the government. And if you're dealing with government, there are higher chance of being scammed or being a victim of scam. So let's work together. Let's share this information and get this information out as much as possible to the people who are in need. Now, while coming to an end, I do want to end this presentation by sharing that let's close the digital divide. This digital literacy is not just about computers, phones, laptops. It's just not about the devices. It is about the dignity, the safety, and independence, the feeling of confidence for our older adults in our province. So partner with us to bring these workshops to more communities. Thank you, everyone. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I wrote down some questions as you were going along, but there's also a couple of questions in the chat. So the very first question is, where are the library workshops? Is it only out at AC Hunter Library?
So right now it is at AC Public Hunter Library. We do it one Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you go to the public library events calendar online, you would be able to see our events on the calendar. And the other way would be, or the easiest way would be, if you could call the ACH Public Hunter Library phone number, they would help you register for our events. On top of it, we are talking to open up another workshop at the Mount Pearl Library, but there we have not finished the conversation, but we are planning on expanding our workshops in the future.
And how long are the workshops? Are they half a day, full day?
The workshops are only for 2 hours. We cannot do half a day because we have tried doing that and that has not worked for the participants well. We want to make sure that the workshops are very productive. When it's trended out, we have seen people lose interest, or we don't want to overwhelm with option. So the most productive time that we have seen is 2 hours. And that is exactly why our workshops are from 10 to 12. The first hour from 10 to 11, we do the presentation. We talk about the new things in a presentation way. And the last hour from 11 to 12, it's hands-on learning, one-on-one, sitting down, experiential learning, which we have seen the most productive way of doing.
And do the participants at the workshops bring their own, say, gadgets, their phones, their tablets, their laptops?
Absolutely, they do. And that is because, again, as I said, a lot of people are comfortable on their phones, but not on PC. And somebody
Mm.
else will be very good at their tablets because that's all they use, but not comfortable on their phones. To make this more accessible, we tell participants to bring their own device so we can help on the things that they're very comfortable using it at the beginning.
And staying on the same topic now, the same question. So when you're talking about the workshops that are in the library, that's actually the digital cafes, is it?
No, no.
Okay.
Very good
Can you
point.
explain the difference, please?
Absolutely. So what we do presentation and hands-on workshops. The digital cafes for public library that happens every Thursday from I think I forgot, but it's around, I think, 10 to 12 every Thursdays at the public library. But that is, you can just bring your device over there, and if you need any device help, they will be there to help you. But what we do is we talk about topics and make participants confident in those topics. We make them an expert on, say, Facebook, on Messenger, on scam prevention, on the device as well. But the digital cafes are, you bring your laptops, your computers, or your gadgets, and you ask them your issue, and they will solve your issue. So they are more reactive, and we are more proactive. What we do is to prevent harm or prevent being scammed or making your life easier in the digital way. And in those digital cafes, you bring your problems and they solve it.
And is that at every Newfoundland and Labrador Public Library? Thursdays or just specifically AC
No, it's
Hunter?
just ACH Hunter Library. Yeah, AC Hunter
Okay.
Library. Only there. It's every Thursdays. I think it's from 9 to 12.
Okay. We'll do some research on that so everybody that's on the
Yeah,
call will receive
yes,
a
please.
follow-up email and we'll remind it as well in our biweekly newsletter. So
Amazing.
yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so in saying that, I'll actually put you on the hot seat a little bit. You think you're going to be reaching out to other libraries across the province and in rural areas to get them on board and start offering some of the education and the digital cafes? And if it's food for thought for later, and just say, you know what, we'll get back to you. That's okay.
No, Catherine, this is what we are working on right now. I would love to answer this for you. So, yes, so right now, as we said, we only have limited resources.
Yeah,
Again, we are so appreciated with seniors NL working with us because now we have a backbone, and that is exactly why we have our toll-free number running out, working on the virtual line to go out. We are, as we said, we initially started being a volunteer-based organization, and we want to keep it that way. So we are reaching out to community volunteers who are living in Labrador or farther away, where I can't go myself easily. We are trying to recruit volunteers from farther away. We will share our resources at no cost. We will share our resources. So what we are doing as community volunteers, we will share our resources to them at no cost. Take our resources, go in your community, be the community volunteer, share all these resources with your the older adults in your community. So this is what we are striving for. We are going there. Again, we are sometimes we don't have a lot of resources, so we are working with what we have. That is what we are there's where we're at when we talk about getting it farther away and talking about workshops in other public libraries. Again, we do not have a lot of resources. We are working with what we have, but as we grow, as more people partner with us, as we get more funding as well, we our plan is to expand. But right now, I think we're still in a growing stage and talking to organizations, talking to nonprofit organizations, to corporations, to the government people, and advocating for us, advocating for the community. So this get prioritized, so we get funded or supported, so we can expand this workshops or this digital literacy throughout Newfoundland and Labrador.
perfect. Thank you so much. Second question that we have in the chat is, can we get access to these step-by-step sheets for seniors that you've mentioned?
Okay, so that is also something that we are working on. In the future, because we are working on it, when you go on our website, it's still a baby, it's still growing, but we are going to have a resource center over on our website. We will also upload our presentation as videos. We are planning on having a YouTube page where we could upload our presentation, and the workshops would be just one download click where you can print it out. But again, please bear with us. We are working with the resources that we have, but that is where we see us in the future.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anywhere else that provides help too, like what you do?
I remember last year, back in the day, we had techno tutors who did
Right.
similar things like us. But right now, I know they have closed down or stopped doing these workshops due to funding and whatnot. But there's nobody who is as productive, as
Mm.
proactive as what we do. You can find digital cafes like ACH Public Hunter Library. I know Mount Pearl Library also has something like that. I know you could go to the Memorial Library. You can sit there and there's librarians who will assist you. Even though they do not have digital cafes, they do have something like that, but it's very reactive. Like you have to bring your problem and they might sit
Mm.
down and help you. If there are more people, you might not get that attention because there's more people getting those attention. Yes, you will find more reactive cafes, but something that we do proactive, there's nobody else. It's only us doing this. So that's why stay tuned. We are going to bring more resources and we are going to make this more accessible for people to get this information.
There's a comment there in the chat, and thank you so much. It says the Murphy Center in Gander and Corner Brook assist with seniors and provide one-on-one on the large group sessions proactively. So, yes, the Murphy Center does provide some educational sessions as well. And we will, in the follow-up email from the session itself for everybody that registered, we'll actually list a few things off there for rurally on where you can get some help to, along with the help that's at Memorial. I don't want to say the name out loud just in case I pretty much I think I know what the name is, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say it out loud. But we will definitely have it in the follow-up notes, in the follow-up email. Any other questions? Would anybody like to take yourselves off mute and ask a question directly to Sarah?
What is the website?
Good question. The website is our organization's name, www.digitalseniorsnl.ca. And you can also find us on Facebook because I think we get more attention on Facebook as we update our events and workshops and update all this information. If you use Facebook, you can also find us there, but we have a calendar on our website that is always updated.
And we'll also provide you with the web address. Anybody else have a question or a comment that they'd like to take themselves off mute or even type it in the chat?
I would like to say, Sarah, this is very informative and your organization is growing and it's amazing how you cover human connection and hands-on learning and monthly workshops and focus. And it's true with seniors, it is trust and it is confidence, building that confidence to overcome the digital divide. And I think it's amazing work that you're doing, and especially expanding in the rural parts of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Absolutely. Another thing I want to mention is so my day job, this is something I'm doing for the community. My day job is I work at an Indigenous organization. And we have seen again and again how the people who are living in Maine or in Labrador, they don't have access to any devices or but they are still using the government portals to get the license or to get their status card, etc., etc. And this is a conversation we have again in the indigenous organizations talking about how can we make sure to bring this over in Labrador, over in Maine, or farther away where people don't have remote access to digital technology stuff. So that's one of the important conversations we have all the time again.
Yeah.
Stop sharing.
Amazing work. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I was just about to ask you that. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen again, everybody. Okay, you should be able to see Sarah's beautiful face there. We're still on questions, by the way. So your website itself, will you actually be having, and again, I understand that I love the term saying it's a baby. It's a baby and it's growing. Just kind of throwing this out, it would be a lovely idea or a lovely thought to have a listing of the different types of workshops that you offer. For the different topics and things of that nature. I'm saying that actually for my own purposes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because as everybody would fairly know on the call, that my mind is always buzzing about different ideas, different things that we could do, ways to help educate, and just share the wealth of knowledge. So I just want to thank
Sounds
you.
like a great
So,
idea to me.
before we move on to the next slide, anybody else have a question, comment, concern, anything that you would like to share? No? Okay. I'm going to move on to our next slide. Just a reminder about Seniors NL and what we do. We provide an information and referral walk-in service through phone, email, through walk-in service, phone, and email through a variety of different topics, such as housing, health, daily living, grief, and bereavement. We also have some tax clinics that are coming up, so please stay tuned for that. And if you'd like to know if there are any free tax clinics in your area, please reach out and we will locate that information for you. We also have community outreach and engagement, so that would be myself and my team. So we provide a wide range of different presentations and education sessions, such as this one. We connect groups and organizations with guest speakers. We also do in-person presentations, and we have a biweekly newsletter. And this is just to name a few little things that we do. We have social prescribing, and these are link workers that are working directly in our family care teams across the province. And our link workers help connect individuals to a range of non-clinical services. So I just wanted to remind everybody on exactly what Seniors NL are here and what we do and how we make a difference. Our next session is going to be a tea and talk. This is also going to be Zoomed as well, so it will be streamed live. Be prepared for an emergency at home. This is going to be on Tuesday, February the 17th. It is from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then the following one after that will be on February the 24th. And it's a tea and talk again. Be prepared for an evacuation. Both of these presentations are going to be presented by Lori Hindi, who is a community engagement lead with Eastern Newfoundland and Labrador Canadian Red Cross emergency responder volunteer.
What time did you say that was again?
Tea and talks, they're 2 o'clock to 3:30. And I recognize a voice, so if you'd like to actually register to come in person, just please let me know so I can write you down. To come in person, you have to register with me because we do have limited space. But however, there is no limited space, obviously, through Zoom. If you'd rather go on Zoom, anybody can register. There's no limitation.
Thank you. I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Thank you. And this is the end of our session. This is on the screen. You'll see Seniors NL contact information. You can feel free to reach out to us at any point in time. Before we end today's session, do we have any other comments or questions for Sarah?
Hi, Catherine. There is a question in the chat that says, are there link workers in Gander?
We do have a link worker that's in Grand Falls, Windsor. We do have a link worker that is in Grand Falls, Windsor. In order to gain access to a link worker, you must be followed by a family care team. So if you're not within a family care team itself, you do not have, say, access to the link worker. However, we are here for you. So all you need to do is reach out to Seniors NL, and we will you tell us your questions, what you're looking for, and we will give you the same information as your link worker. The main difference with the link worker is your healthcare professional will not know the information that we're providing, where the link worker does a full circle with your healthcare professional team. Mm-hmm. Any other questions from our audience? No? Okay. So I would like to say a big thank you to Sarah for today's presentation. It was amazing, just a wide range of knowledge there from today, from scams, from the different types of scams that are going on, banking help, about the government website, the different workshops that you do. So phenomenal. And looking forward to working with you in the future on different collaborations that I know we will be working on. So I'd like to
Absolutely.
say,
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
very welcome. And thank you everybody for joining. I will follow up with once this is posted online and additional information in an email. So thank you everybody for joining today. Have a wonderful day and hope to see you next week. Bye.
Have a wonderful day. Take care.